Welcome back. It's 5 minutes to 9. In the past, when we thought about health, we often linked it to physical well-being. But now, more than ever, people are starting to understand the importance of mental health and well-being. Our very own Mental Health Foundation partnered with AIA to provide New Zealanders with greater access to tools and resources. For more, I'm joined by the Foundation's Chief Executive, Shaun Robinson. Good morning, Shaun.
Good morning, Matt.
Are we getting better at understanding that actually when we talk about health and well-being, it isn't just physical, it is mental as well?
I think we are. I think there's a long way to go, and people do still face stigma around mental health issues, but I also think far more people are willing to talk about it now. And I think there's a huge kind of appetite in the public for things that can build up their well-being and their mental health, and I guess an awareness that just like our physical fitness, there are things that we can do on a daily basis that kind of help to boost our sense of feeling good and functioning well and having healthy thinking habits.
Because how important is mental health for our overall well-being?
Well, there is no health without mental health. I mean, if you look at Te Whare Tapawhā, which is, a great Indigenous model of health, what I love about that is it says you don't have health unless you have a holistic approach. And, one of the four key walls to the whare is mental health. Then, of course, it sits on the whenua, on the land, so we have to have a connection to nature. So that notion that we're not healthy unless we have mental health and well-being, I think is, people really get that.
How do you break down that stigma, do you think?
Well, I think, a lot of it has been about just people being out there about the fact that they, experience tough times mentally. But it's tricky, it's taken me years to be fully open about the fact that I live with bipolar, but I met a guy yesterday at the Auckland Marathon. He now sticks the fact that he has bipolar on his CV, and he said, look, if people don't get it and they're going to treat me badly about it, stuff them, it's their problem, it's not mine. So, for someone to have reached that point, I think that's fantastic. But there are still lots of people who feel, like they're going to be treated badly and who are treated badly because if they're open about their mental health. But I think one of the key things is that mental health is not just something for people over there. It's something we all experience. Over 80% of us will go through a time that could be diagnosed as a mental illness during the course of our lives, and we shouldn't be, surprised about that, because we wouldn't expect to go through our whole lives without having some kind of physical illness. But, the other thing about mental health is it's a positive thing. We can actually build up that sense of feeling good. We can build up that resilience. So for me, a key part of managing my bipolar, yes, I take medications and that's fantastic, but it's also looking at the sorts of things that AIA have put in their Vitality app, those things like the 5 ways to well-being. So making sure I'm connecting with people and that I put time into my relationships, and that I also have a sense of a community, not just my close and immediate relationships. Giving to people. When I'm feeling bad and feeling depressed or anxious, remembering that other people matter, and actually showing some kindness to other people, it boosts your sense of well-being, that you're actually valuable to other people. It's the old adage, to give is to receive, and of course it builds those connections, those relationships. Another one that I find really important is the notion of take notice. I heard you guys talking about there's a meditation room here. Fantastic, but it doesn't have to be sort of full-on meditation. It can be just slowing down a bit, and taking the time to appreciate the little things that make you feel happy, because we rush past them. Every day I look at the tree outside my kitchen window, and it's just a little ritual I have in the morning. Notice what's happening with nature as it goes through the seasons, and it just keeps me in the moment, Or sometimes I just take 3 big, slow, deep breaths, of course, being active, being physical is important. I'm no athlete, but, I try to, I go for walks. I do go to the gym. I try to just make sure I move my body, because, again, the science shows that even just an hour's exercise over the course of a week can protect you against depression and anxiety. If I'm feeling depressed, to go for a walk really helps. Doesn't take it all away, but it does help. And then the other one is keep learning. Our brains are designed to be inquisitive, to be, open to new ideas. So just doing things that keep your mind going, keep your mind active, whether it's listening to a podcast or reading a book or going to a night class or having a hobby, all of those things. We can work these things into our lives in so many different ways. And, I go, if I'm starting to feel bad, I go, which of the 5 ways have I not been practicing?
Yeah.
So I'm a big enthusiast about it, as you can tell.
Absolutely, and so we should be. We need to talk about it more and get better. And help each other out. Thank you so much for joining us. That's Shaun Robinson
welcome.
from the Mental Health Foundation.